What's up, guys? Marlon back at it again here with another episode of Let's Talk. Now, we are going to be talking about Xbox on this episode of Let's Talk. And in case if you're brand new to the channel, just understand that this Let's Talk episode is mainly a one-on-one discussion with the community pertaining to a major topic that happened throughout the week. Okay, we launched Let's Talk PlayStation. That was the first episode last Sunday. So if you missed out on that one, it's on the channel. I'll be adding a playlist to the channel. So like I promised, we're going to be going over this topic. I did discuss it in the last show that I had when the topic first came out. And literally, I had to take the stream down because I was having some issues, audio issues, and some other issues with the actual stream. So we're going to talk about this one-on-one. Obviously, there was some more information that literally came out about Sony paying blocking fees and all that type of stuff to stop games from coming to Game Pass, right? So I'm going to give my take on this situation, and then we'll discuss it as a community on how you guys feel at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and wait until people start getting in here and what have you. And then we're going to discuss, because there's a lot of things that I'm going to go over into this particular topic. And I need everybody to be chiming in on this particular topic here, because let me go ahead and add this to the main part of the channel and stuff. And we're going to go ahead and discuss this, because this is a very, very hot topic. And I know a lot of people, a lot of fanboys, a lot of people get, just so defensive about this situation. And hey, let's talk. Let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about the details, right? Because make sure you guys hit the like button. If you want to see more and more of Let's Talk on Sundays, show a lot of love by hitting the like button. If you are brand new to the movement, hit that subscribe button, okay? And turn on that post notification bell. This ain't no game. This ain't no joke. Listen to me. I had to learn my lesson, especially during the week when I have the daily show and stuff like that. Certain things either get missaid or I'm not able to really go in depth on certain things because I have so many other topics. And this is the reason why we're doing this Let's Talk, okay? Separate from the actual main show. All right. So boy, oh boy, I'm going to preach a sermon today. So I'm telling you guys right now, get ready, because I'm going to go in. All right. Now, Microsoft is calling Sony out pertaining to them blocking games from coming to Game Pass. Okay. And the irony here is that, well, Microsoft, you do the same thing. You do the same thing. This whole thing is about exclusivity, right? This whole Brazilian document, this court document that is actually coming out, right? Sony is scared about Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. Well, even if they're sweating a little bit because of Call of Duty, obviously Call of Duty makes them a lot of money. It's one of their biggest source of revenue, right? So of course, one would be like, man, we got to do something, right? We have to do something. They come out, Sony come out with their statement and said, well, none of our studios can rival the strength of Call of Duty. We can't really make something to rival Call of Duty, right? And so that kind of comes off a certain type of way when they actually said that. But at the same time, Sony has been doing this how long? Since 95, when they launched the PlayStation 1 in North America, right? Since 1995. What is Sony known for, ladies and gentlemen? Their exclusive games, okay? Now, here's how we're doing this Let's Talk. I'm going to give off my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is my take on it. And then we're going to discuss it at the latter part of this show. Now, dig in, Marlon. What have Sony been doing I need you guys, because this whole battle, right? This whole battle, this back and forth stuff in these legal documents, right? Is about exclusivity, right? So Sony's been doing this since 1995 with the PS1. Sony is known for their exclusive games since day one. They're number one for a reason, right? So Game Pass has been around since when? 2017, right? But in your statement, you saying that Sony is so concerned about a low-cost subscription service that produces high-quality games, right? Sony has been surviving. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to be real with you guys. Sony have been surviving this whole time. Even when Game Pass came out in 2017, Sony have been surviving no problems, right? They have been surviving. So Game Pass did not stop Sony's show. Sony continued to drop quality games. That did not stop them. So the only thing that Sony has been stressing is Call of Duty, because more gamers play Call of Duty on their platform. Microsoft, not on your platform, on their platform. What's good to everybody? Let's go. Money talks at the end of the day. This is what this whole thing is about. Microsoft, you are buying your way. You are literally buying your way. Sony, on the other hand, they just have the better studios, right? Hence why Matt Booty, head of worldwide studios for Xbox, saying that's one thing he can give PlayStation is the quality of their games. And that's something that they want to do. As a company, they want to put out high quality games. Like, people forget, that's what Sony is known for. Blowing the whole industry away with high quality AAA games. Period. So, besides Call of Duty, should Sony be worried about Game Pass? No, because they've been fine. Well, obviously, what Jim Ryan said was, oh, well, Game Pass is not sustainable, right? Like, it hurts the games. It hurts the quality of the games. If they go in that Game Pass route, it's going to hurt the quality of the games, right? That's what Jim Ryan said. So they're not going to follow into the direct footsteps of Game Pass. You cannot compete with $1 trillion company. You cannot compete in that area, because you talk about Sony paying block fees to stop games coming from Game Pass. What is they supposed to do? Roll over and let you win? No, they're not going to roll over and let you win. They're going to compete to earn our hard-earned dollars, our playtime. This is what this whole court document situation is about. Exclusivity. This is what it's all about. Sony is not going to roll over and let you win. What company is going to do that? But nobody sees what Microsoft is actually. The medium. We really want to talk about block fees and this. You do the same thing. You go to those developers and be like, oh no, the medium, we want it tied to our Xbox console. How did the medium turn out for you? Let's be real. Let's be real here. How did the medium turn out? Not so great. At least for me, not so great. How did the Falconeer turn out? Not so great. Let's be honest. You do the same exact thing. That's so hypocritical. You do the same exact thing. So how is it okay for you to come out here and call Sony out on something that you've been doing for years? You do the same thing, and you're doing it for Game Pass to win people over to your subscription service. Come on, man. But you're calling Sony out for something that you do too. Every company does this. Are you serious? You are always going to beat Sony when it comes to dollars. You can go to whichever publisher, whatever developer, and just buy. That's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing, bro. You are coming out here and you're buying Activision. The only thing that, as far as I'm concerned, correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing that Sony is worried about with this whole Activision deal is Call of freaking Duty. It's Call of Duty. Sony is not gonna die or completely go into oblivion because of Game Pass. Sony is gonna be fine. Sony has been doing this since 1995. Now, I want to show you guys something. Remember what Phil Spencer said back in 2020? Exclusivity goes against what gaming should be about. But then you turn around when you got Bethesda and said, oh, well, the future of Bethesda games will be exclusive to platforms where Game Pass exists. But I thought it was against what gaming is about. You see what I'm going here? But now we are having this discussion about exclusivity. See, Sony is the king in that department. You cannot compete with Sony when it comes to putting out quality exclusive games. Am I right? Am I wrong? Call me out. If I'm bullcrapping you guys, call me out. This ain't no fanboy stuff. This ain't no game. This ain't no joke. This is coming from a real person perspective on what I see. You cannot compete with Sony in that department. That's why you're buying your way. And even if you buy a quality studio, well, it's tied to a subscription service. And 9 times out of 10, if that company or said developer is not making something of quality, or for instance, like if you buy a company or a publisher that is high quality, right? And they're not really being compensated or being treated right, well, how's the quality of that game going to be? See, Microsoft is finally getting the whole quality thing. Look at Hellblade 2, right? Look how good that game looks. They're finally getting it, but you're buying your way there. Sony, on the other hand, since 95, they have been making quality stuff since 95. Okay, another thing. This is so crazy. This whole thing is so crazy. Sony is the leader in distribution of digital games. So Sony should not be concerned about exclusivity, right? Because they're the king of that. They're number one in that department. So paying block fees, that shouldn't be a big deal, right? Because that's what they're supposed to do. Their job as a corporation is supposed to win the hearts of gamers any way possible. This is just behind the scenes. All this stuff that we're reading from this Brazil document, these court documents, is behind the scenes stuff that's been going on for years. So this ain't nothing new. This is nothing new at all. So this should not raise an alarm. This should not be a concern. Because this is what they do to win our hearts. This is what they do to win our hard-earned dollar. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong? So what's the big deal here? But Sony's concerned with possible exclusivity of Activision content is incoherent. Really? Like I said, Sony's main concern was Call of Duty because it makes them so much money. It's one of their biggest stream of income when it comes to third-party titles. So of course they're concerned. They're like, oh man, wow. But then Microsoft come out and say, well, it's not going to benefit us to keep Call of Duty on our platform exclusive, so it will remain on PlayStation. So what are we doing here? Okay, you release something the next 12 months. All right? The next 12 months, you had a showcase talking about what's coming to Game Pass in the next 12 months. Okay. If you look at all the stuff that's coming out in 2022, there's literally nothing that's exclusive that we can say, oh my God, wow. What have Sony been doing since 2020? Dropping exclusive games. I've been saying this for the longest time. Exclusive games matter for the industry. Exclusive games drive hardware sales. Microsoft, you cannot compete with Sony when it comes to hardware sales. You know this because you don't report on hardware sales. You do not report on hardware sales because you know that's a department that you cannot win. When it comes to exclusive games, high quality exclusive games, you cannot win in that department. So what do? You start buying publishers. Hello, Activision. How are you doing, buddy? I want to go ahead and buy you because we need games to come to Game Pass. We need all the games. We need as much games coming to Game Pass. But you got to ask yourself, are all those games that's going to be in Game Pass? Is it high quality? Is it AAA? Is it going to be sustainable for the gamer? Sony, on the other hand, all Sony needs to do is keep on doing what they have been doing. Dropping AAA high quality games. Sony is not perfect. Sony make mistakes just like everybody else. A lot of PlayStation gamers are not in agreement with what? Live service games. People are against that, right? People are saying, oh, I don't really care for these live service games, right? People want multiplayer games on their PS5, right? Sony is working on that. But don't come out here and splash mud on Sony and make it seem like, well, you're any better because you do the same exact thing. That's what this whole thing is about. And trust and believe, if this whole Game Pass model fit with Sony, who would win? Who do you think, be honest with me, who do you think will win that war between Sony and Microsoft? If Sony decides, well, you know what? We're going to put all of our AAA first-party games into a subscription service, aka PlayStation Premium. Who do you think will win in that department? See, Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. So the part where Microsoft struggles the most is putting out high quality exclusive games. What is Microsoft known for? And they're trying to get out of that whole song, that same old song and dance. Gears, Forza, Halo. That's why they're buying up all these studios and all these companies, because it's like they for some reason they just can't make quality games. So they have to buy them. They have to literally buy them in hopes that it's enough to get Game Pass going, right? So that everybody can just be attached to Game Pass. Listen, guys, listen, man. Listen. At the end of the day, Sony should not be worried. Call of Duty is going to remain on PlayStation platform. Microsoft already made a statement, and they said it's going to remain on PlayStation. So Sony has nothing to worry about. This whole paying block fees situation, they have nothing to worry about. Right? Because all Sony got to do is drop the games. That is it. That's the edge that they have over Microsoft. Yes, you can have hundreds of games tied to Game Pass. But if you are not engaging with those titles, remember what Microsoft said? Oh, we don't care about hardware sales. We care about engagement. Ooh, you care about engagement. But if all these games that you have in Game Pass is not increasing the engagement that you are supposedly looking at or counting, then make that make sense. If people are not signing up for Game Pass, if people are not engaging with Game Pass, then what's the point? Because that's your main focus, right? That's your bread and butter. It's not hardware sales. Oh, wait a minute. We do have something that just came out here. Court documents confirmed Xbox One sold less than half of PS4 numbers. Why is that? During the Xbox One, I need somebody to help me here, because maybe I'm just way off the rails, right? Why is it that the Xbox One did not perform as well as the PS4? Because of the exclusive games, right? Because obviously they had bad press with the Xbox One with the whole DRM situation, right? But there was nothing that was strong enough exclusive wise to drive hardware sales. Common sense. Common sense. Sony has been doing this in their sleep since 95. I keep telling you guys. Common sense. That's why Microsoft backtrack on them on their statement and say, no. Exclusivity actually matters. But before it was, it's going against what gaming is really about. No, bro. It's important. It's very important to a platform holder. That's why PlayStation have such a strong install base when it comes to their fans versus anybody else except for Nintendo. That's why Nintendo stands strong. That's why Nintendo is in a league of their own. Because of their exclusive games, you cannot get their games anywhere else but on their platform. Sony's been doing that. So Sony does not have to come out here and do the same thing that Microsoft is doing with Game Pass. No, because that's their last haven. That's their last hope, is to hold on to Game Pass, because they cannot compete pound for pound. Listen, if the Xbox brand did not have Microsoft behind it, do you honestly think that the Xbox brand will still be in existence right now? The Xbox One, they were hesitating about even making the Xbox One. Like, should we even make an Xbox One? Should we even make another console? Even after the Xbox One console, should we make another console? Listen, man. Listen. You cannot compete with the king when it comes to exclusive games. And that's why you're buying all these studios. And like, you got the money to do so, but how long is that going to hold up for? How long is that going to hold up for? Microsoft has changed the game when it comes to this subscription service, which is called Game Pass. The problem here is How is the games are going to be in the future? 2023, I keep telling you guys, 2023 is going to be the year for Microsoft when it comes to the AAA stuff dropping. Okay, let's look at this right here because you guys think I'm playing. Let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. Let's not waste any time. Let's look at this. All right, look at this. 2023, Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Wolong, Stalker 2. Those are 5 solid games. And Flintlock, right? That's 6 solid games that I want to play in Game Pass, right? Those are 6 solid games that is going to be tied to Game Pass that I'm excited about as a Game Pass subscriber, right? But at the end of the day, you look at this and you say, okay, they delayed Starfield because they need more time. They delayed Redfall because they need more time. People's main thing when it comes to Redfall and Starfield, because those 2 are the biggest exclusives out of this whole thing. Apparently, Stalker 2 is going to be coming to PlayStation, right? And obviously, Forza Motorsport. Those 3 are the biggest when it comes to just tied to the actual Xbox system. And you can't get anything anywhere else. Obviously, I saw the quality of Forza Motorsport. It looks really good. The quality of Starfield, I don't know. I need to see more on that. Redfall looks good. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is good and all, but don't make it seem like Sony can't answer back. Sony got Spider-Man 2. They got Wolverine. They got, I'm pretty sure, a bunch more other stuff. They got Final Fantasy Rebirth. Like, they got Final Fantasy 16. Bro, they have games too. Now, in Microsoft defense, Redfall looks amazing. I cannot wait to play Redfall. That's what I'm talking about. You need to entice the gamer to be hooked to this subscription service. Well, how are you going to do that? Drop in quality stuff. Drop in things that people want to play. Unfortunately, all of that stuff is in 2023. In 2022, there's absolutely zero stuff here that I could say that I really exclusive wise that I really want to play. There's nothing. Scorn, not my cup of tea. Okay? Pentiment? Really? Pentiment? No. There's absolutely nothing here except for Atomic Heart. That's on PlayStation as well. Like, come on, guys. Seriously, man. Listen to me, man. Starfield, like I said, that's one of their biggest titles, right? That's supposed to be coming out what? It was supposed to come out this year. It got delayed. Need more time. That's fine. Redfall, same thing. Forza, hey, looks really good. You got me hooked with Redfall. You got me hooked with Starfield. I still need to see more on that. But at the same time, Sony is not worried about Game Pass. They're not worried about that. You know why they're not worried about that? Because they got their own thing going on. If Sony wants to compete, they can compete in that arena, but they're not going to. They're focusing on their $70 games, right? And dropping what they drop into PlayStation Plus, Premium, and Extra. 6 months later, a year later, whenever they do decide to drop their first party games into their subscription service. So the moral of the story here is, should Sony be worried about Game Pass? What's the big deal about block fees? Guys, Microsoft does the same thing. Okay? Sony is just better at exclusive games. That's just what it is, right? They got Final Fantasy. They went to Square Enix and made a deal with them, right? That's why all the Final Fantasy games are where they're at, right? Do I need to keep going? That's why you don't see Spider-Man, you don't see God of War, you don't see any of these games on any other platform but PlayStation. Now they're moving all their stuff over to PC because they're trying to expand beyond consoles. Guys, This whole thing is just, it's nonsense. It really is nonsense because Microsoft is no better. They're no better. They're a $1 trillion company. They're a $1 trillion company, right? So they can do whatever they want to do. They can pay as much block fees as possible to stop games from coming to PlayStation, right? They have been doing that, right? And they'll do anything to make Game Pass win, right? Because that's the whole thing. They got to feed Game Pass. They got to keep buying up all these studios. Don't you guys realize that? That's their main goal here. They got to feed it with games. That's why they're buying. They're buying their way there. Sony cannot compete with Microsoft with buying. They can't because they don't have that type of money. So what Sony has to do is stick to their guns as far as what? Making quality games with the 18 studios that they have. Period. So what I am saying to you guys is exclusive games matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who is paying block fees, right? It's called competition. We're competing. We're trying to win the gamer. That's what it's all about. Who cares if Sony is paying block fees? Who cares? Do you guys care? Do you guys care? No, you don't. Because when you're playing the games and enjoying the games on PlayStation platform, it does not matter. It does not matter. Does it really matter how Sony gets XYZ game to their platform? It doesn't matter. If they're doing it the legal way, it doesn't matter. Am I right or am I wrong? It does not matter. Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. So Sony shouldn't be sweating. Sony shouldn't be shook. Sony shouldn't be scared. It should not matter. Microsoft is buying up everything, right? And a lot of you guys say that you're against that. A lot of you guys said, oh, Marlon, I'm against Microsoft buying up everything. That's not cool. They're trying to buy their way to victory. Is buying your way to win enough? No, because it comes down to the games. You have to let the games do the talking. That's what I'm telling you. Microsoft is not rolling over either. They have games coming. They got Perfect Dark. They got Fable. They got Forza. They got Starfield. Do I need to keep going? Redfall. Do I need to keep going? They have a lot of State of Decay 3. They have a lot of Avowed. Do I have to keep going? They got some games coming. Microsoft is not rolling over. Microsoft is not giving up. They're using their money to their advantage. They're giving me the Sega approach right now. That's the whole mindset of Microsoft right now. They're trying to move beyond consoles. Who cares? Microsoft is like, I don't care if Sony sold more PS4s than Xbox One. I don't care because that's not our main focus. We don't care. We want to win the hearts of gamers by giving them value in our subscription service so that they don't have to go anywhere else. We want to get more gamers on screens, right? That's our main focus, right? As they should, because they got Microsoft backing them. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to continue buying until they say, you can't buy no more. Then what? When you get to that point to where your buying power stops, the games have to do the talking. That's where Sony is crushing Microsoft for years in the quality department. You heard that statement.
Boy, we're swimming.
I'm gonna get to the super chat. You heard that statement. Do you hear that statement that was put out there by what's his name, Tim Geddes from what was it? Kind of Funny, right? Kind of Funny podcast. He said that developers are scared of God of War. It goes to show you the strength of Sony IPs. Sony should not be worried about Game Pass. They should not be, because they know if they drop high quality AAA stuff, their fans are going to buy it. Regardless of the fact, whether it's $70 or not, their fans are going to buy it. Microsoft knows that if they drop high quality AAA games in their subscription service, people are going to sign up for Game Pass. That's all Microsoft is concerned about. They can care less if you buy an Xbox One. You get what I'm saying? Two different routes here. Microsoft's route is Game Pass. Sony's route is their exclusive games. High quality exclusive games. That is going to drive what? Hardware sales. That's it. Two different routes. And that's okay. Sony knows what they're doing. They've been doing it since 1995. Does Microsoft have a game like God of War? No, they don't. Do they have a game like Spider-Man? No, that's why a lot of Xbox fans are like, man, we need something like Spider-Man. We need something like God of War. Hence why we got that game. I'm going to get to y'all super chats. Hence why we got that God of War game that was clearly a joke on the Xbox store. Right? Xbox fans want that type of games on their platform. And that's why Microsoft is out here buying. But all this buying you're doing, can you have those genre-defining games like God of War and Spider-Man and Metal Gear and all those type of games, right? That should be your main focus, which they are doing that, right? They're doing that. That's why they're buying up all these companies. Listen, man. Listen, guys. Listen. 1234 with the $10 says it's not about Sony blocking Game Pass that is the problem. It's how they complaining in court and act like they don't have to or participate in exclusives. Sony was being hypocrites. Magic Boy says, yeah, but Xbox will get exclusive game items and get betas early on COD. Remember, they can hold back a game mode if they want to. Yeah, they can do whatever they want to do. They can do whatever they want to do. Right? Because they actually own the IP. But they're saying that, hey, obviously, when it comes to all the big stuff, right? The beta codes and all the stuff that's tied to Call of Duty now with PlayStation is going to be on Xbox, right? The beta code stuff, the not beta codes, but beta stuff, exclusive content is going to be tied to Xbox, right? But PlayStation is going to still have Call of Duty. Now, I don't know, as far, only time will tell how that's going to actually turn out. Right? Okay. So let's get to some of y'all questions and concerns and everything like that, because, man, listen, bro, Sony is going to be fine. Like I said before, Sony with their statement and stuff like that, it's kind of like, really? You know, like you just sit back and you're like, okay, Sony, okay, you're concerned about Call of Duty, right? You're concerned about gamers like going to the other console of choice because of Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is going to differentiate that, right? And you're also saying that it's going to take several years for anybody to really compete with Game Pass, like on that level, right? Because of what Microsoft did, right? But Sony, you're going to be fine. You've been fine this whole time. You have been fine this whole time. Larry K, thank you for the $1. You have been fine this whole time. All you got to do is strengthen the areas that you're weak in. That's all you got to do. And you will be fine. Let Microsoft do what they do. If you want to pay for if you want to pay to block games coming to Game Pass, do what you do. Because at the end of the day, when people get these games to play, they get these games to play. People are not worried about what's going on behind the scenes on how Sony got this game to be on their actual platform, because they paid money for it. They go and negotiate. They go and talk deals. So Sony is going to be fine. I don't know why some people are saying, oh, Sony is done. Oh, PlayStation is done. No, Sony is going to be fine. I am telling you, when Spider-Man 2 drops, that's going to do crazy numbers for Sony, right? When Final Fantasy Rebirth drops, it's going to do crazy numbers for Sony. When Final Fantasy 16 drops, it's going to do crazy numbers for Sony, right? Microsoft as well. Microsoft is going to have a lot of subscribers next year with Starfield, Redfall, Forza, Stalker 2, all these things that are tied into Game Pass. It's going to do crazy numbers for them as far as subscription. But what it really boils down to, guys, at the end of the day, is the quality of the games. The quality of the games. You cannot stop Sony in that department. You cannot compete with Sony in that department. They've been doing that for years. I'm just saying. Microsoft is trying to compete. They're trying. Look at Hellblade 2. They're trying. Arguably one of the best looking games I've ever seen, right? On the Xbox platform is Hellblade 2. Nobody can deny that. Nobody. I'm going to get to y'all questions. Nobody can deny that. Hellblade 2 is the best looking game. The best looking game that we have seen from Xbox. So when you look at that, you're like, oh, shoot, Microsoft is finally getting it. They're finally trying to follow the Sony formula. Right? Am I right? Am I wrong? The best looking game that we have seen to date from Microsoft is Hellblade 2. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Nobody can say anything. Starfield does not, obviously there's two different type of games, but bro, I'm talking about quality wise, Hellblade 2 is where it's at. Listen, man, listen to me. The best looking game on Xbox right now is Hellblade 2. That's it. Right? I guess you can say Forza. Forza looks incredible, right? Two different type of games. And I see some people say, oh, Halo this. Well, listen, I get it that Sony needs to strengthen their multiplayer department. We already know that's what the Bungie stuff is for. That's what Deviation Games is for. That's what Haven Studios, they're working on something. Like Sony is trying to strengthen. They're trying to strengthen their multiplayer stuff, right? But sit down and think about it though. Halo is not like what it used to be. I see some people pulling the Halo card coming from Xbox fans that have been saying, Halo just ain't the same, bro. Halo Infinite is not the same. The numbers speak for themselves. Like, it's just not the same. It does not have the same impact like the older Halo games. Let's be honest. Let's be upfront here. So some people pulling the Halo card. No. Like, Halo is not the same. Halo Infinite is just not the same like what we grew up on. No. That's why you see so many people leaving Microsoft, so many people leaving these studios and stuff. It's a quality control issue at Microsoft. Nobody can tell me otherwise. It's a quality control issue at Microsoft. And they have to iron that out. They have to fix that. They literally have to fix that. Right? Another thing too, hence why Naughty Dog is working on that multiplayer, that brand new multiplayer experience, in the faction universe, right? That's supposed to blow us all away. Remember about that. That's coming too. Halo is not what it used to be, guys. That's a fact. Look how they released the game in pieces. No co-op. You know what I'm saying? Forge, you got to wait on that. All this stuff is in pieces, guys. Come on, man. It's a quality control stuff. I'm capping. Well, if I'm capping, bro, hey, say whatever you want to say. Say whatever you want to say, man. Please tell me how I'm capping. If I'm actually capping, please tell me so I can not cap. Please tell me so that I can not cap. I want to uncap myself, okay? Because I'm capping so hard. So please tell me how I'm capping. This is all my opinion, but this is also coming from you guys as well. You guys have been talking about this stuff. So please tell me, how is it that I'm capping? Halo is not the same. Haven't been the same, bro, since Bungie left. That's a fact. Are you kidding me? So you're going to sit here and tell me Halo Infinite was so amazing. I haven't even touched Halo Infinite in so long. It's just not the same. Microsoft has a quality control issue. Phil Spencer, like I said before, he saved Xbox, right? I give that man his flowers, but at the same time, he's at the head. He's at the top. And a lot of the stuff that they put out over the years, it's just not on par with Sony. It's just not on par with Sony when it comes to quality. So you got to give Sony their flowers. When it comes to exclusive games, when it comes to exclusivity, Sony got that sewed up. Microsoft is trying to catch up in that department because they know they've been lacking in that department for years. Again, AKA quality control. Am I right? Am I wrong? To say Marlon is an idiot and he does not know what he's talking about. Please call me out. I want you guys to call me out. Legitimately call me out if I'm bullcrapping you guys on a Sunday. I don't like wasting my time. But please understand that Microsoft have a quality control issue. 360 was their best time frame. Xbox One, come on, let's be real. All you can say is Gears, Forza, Halo. That's all you can say. During the Xbox One generation. Let's be real. Quality control issue. So why should Sony be worried so much about Microsoft and what they're buying and what they're doing, right? Obviously, they're going to have some type of concern because they're going to be like, well, we need to get to this XYZ game first before Microsoft does. You cannot beat Microsoft in the money department. But in the quality department, Sony got that sold up. It's crazy, bro. It's literally crazy. We have to understand that. Sony is not perfect. They're not perfect. I understand that. Not everything Sony does is gold. Look, case in point, Destruction All-Stars. What ended up happening into that game had a little bit of spike in the beginning, and then it's flatline after that. That game did not even hold up. It did not hold up. But they wanted to charge $70 for that game, right? But then they said, you know what? We're going to put it in a subscription. You get what you get. You get what you get when you have a subscription service. You get what you get. You can't even complain. Destruction All-Stars was tied into PlayStation Plus, right? Look how that game turned out. Not so great, right? And that's why Sony is saying, well, listen, the quality of these subscription service games are not going to be good. Because they want to sit there, right? They want to sit there and say, well, hey, you know what? That Game Pass model is not going to work for us. We're going to do what we're going to do. And that's all Sony needs to do. They don't need to do anything else. They don't need to do anything else. So in my closing with this topic, we're gonna get to this discussion. But in my closing with this topic, all Sony has to do, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Yes, they make mistakes just like everybody else. I'm not sitting here saying Sony is perfect. No, they're not. But at the end of the day, who's going to win this generation? Only time will tell. Keep paying your blocking fees because Microsoft is doing the same thing.
We're swimming in cash.
Microsoft, you bought Activision. Isn't that blocking? Isn't that blocking? You bought Bethesda. Isn't that blocking? Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be real. They both do it. One, two, three, four. Thank you for the $5. It says Halo had a big launch, but not having co-op and the lack of content hurt it. Exactly. It's just not, like I said, it's not the same. It's just not the same because they released the game in pieces. If that's the case, then delay the game and release the game in a full, complete package. So that literally hurted the game more than anything else. Sony will be okay, but they will have to go day and date to compete. Listen, again, and this is just my opinion. Sony have been fine. Sony have been fine when Game Pass launched in 2017, right? They didn't went out of business. They crushed the Xbox One in sales. Let me give you guys a refresher. They crush the Xbox One in sales. Why? Because of the library of games. That is the only reason why. Because of the library of games, because of the games, because of the exclusive games, because of the quality of the games. That's why. So Sony does not have to, if Sony does not want to compete directly with Game Pass, they don't have to. They can keep doing what they're doing. They're number one. They're not number two. They're not number three. They're number one for a reason. So they don't have to compete with day and date. They don't have to. Right? But it would have been interesting to see Sony compete in that department where all of their exclusive games are tied into PlayStation Plus Premium and Extra. That would be very interesting. But Sony and Jim Ryan is saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because it does not work for us. It does not work for our business model. So we're not doing that. But to piggyback off, you're saying for them to be okay, they would have to know. They don't. They're going to be okay regardless. They're going to be okay regardless of doing day and date. They don't have to do day and date. All they got to do is drop them quality exclusives and people are going to buy their console. Period. Microsoft's main concern is, man, we need to get as much games tied to Game Pass, and we need to make sure that these games are high quality, right? To win over the hardcore people and make sure that there's a lot of, casual stuff in here for the casual audience. That's all they got to do. That's all they got to focus on. Oh, my man, Popeye, appreciate you. That's all they got to focus on. So no. Sony is going to be fine. Sony is going to be okay. They don't have to compete with day and date. They don't have to do that. They will be fine. All Sony got to do is continue doing what they do best. But Microsoft is coming out here. Calling Sony out is hypocritical because here is the thing. You are doing the same thing that Sony is doing. What if another document comes out of Sony calling Microsoft out? Wait, you do the same thing? Duh. Of course they do. Of course they do. I'm not sitting here saying that the whole crossplay situation with what Sony was doing was right. No, it was not. Because Sony just wants you to be on their platform. If it was up to Sony, listen, if it was up to Sony, Sony would want every single game to be on their platform. and nowhere else. Hence why they were so stingy with crossplay, right? The whole crossplay thing was a big thing, right? Because Sony don't want you going nowhere else but on their platform. Period. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. So, again, my man Mello, please tell me how am I flip-flopping? Please tell me. Please tell me. I need to know. Let's be honest. Let's be critical here. How is it that I'm flip-flopping? Because as far as I'm concerned I'm stating my opinion. Okay? You don't have to agree with my opinion. Period. You don't have to. Okay? You don't have to. Buy what you buy, play what you play. I'm just one person doing one show. You do not have to agree with me. So you can say I'm flip-flopping all you want. Don't these companies flip-flop? They do. Don't you flip-flop? I'm pretty sure you do. Nobody is perfect. That's my opinion. Okay? I'm standing behind my opinion. If I'm wrong about something, please tell me how I'm wrong. Please tell me how am I flip-flopping so I can address it on the air, live. Please tell me. So we're in the Q&A portion right now. All right? And I need to hear what everybody have to say. Everybody needs to say something because this is why we do Let's Talk. Okay? Because we're talking. We're doing one-on-one discussion about this particular topic. Sony is going to be fine. Microsoft pays money to block games from coming to PlayStation. PlayStation pays money to block games coming to Game Pass. Whippity freaking do. That's what they're doing. They're competing to earn your money. Okay? That's what they're doing. Nothing new there. Let's go ahead and hear what you guys have to say. Tag me at Marlon Gaming Nation. Super chats are welcome. Hit the like button if you do enjoy this Let's Talk because I feel like it's solid. Okay, it's a solid conversation that we can have one-on-one. And I'm probably going to work on getting call-in, like have like a call-in system where you guys can call in if you guys want to. Okay? Now, let's hear what some of you guys have to say about this whole block fee situation and everything. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Okay? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm not going to hold y'all long or anything like that, but please, 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 please. Zane says, Marlon, you flip-flop because Tuesday you said block-in deal Sony did was anti-consumer, and today it's just business. Okay. Listen. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. When I initially was looking at that topic, right, I didn't dig into the topic like I was supposed to because in the heat of the moment, in the heat of reading the actual article, because there was more stuff that actually came out, right? There was more stuff that actually came out pertaining to this whole story. So, okay, the whole anti-competitive situation, okay, it's not anti-competitive because at the end of the day, both companies do the same thing. They both do it. So for you to sit there and say, oh, well, you said this and you said that, pertaining to the actual article, that's what the article said, right? And the way how it came off to me like, oh, wait a minute, Sony. But then I had to sit down. I had to do more research. I had to look into it for myself. And I'm like, bro, they both do this. They both do this. Exactly, Jermaine. Exactly. So if somehow, listen to me. If somehow I said something wrong or whatever the case may be, well, my apologies. But obviously I was in the heat of the moment. Obviously I was in my feelings when that topic dropped out. But then I had to realize, I'm like, Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at more details that are coming out about this situation. And like I said at the beginning part of this stream, it's about exclusivity. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And Microsoft are hypocrites to come out here and say, well,
we're swimming in
Sony is paying block fees and blah, blah, blah. You pay block fees too. You pay block fees too. You're buying up all these publishers. You're literally buying up all these. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. One, two, three, four with the $5 says Microsoft can't be hypocrites because they never complain to try to play innocent. Sony admitted the facts and Microsoft checked them on it. Listen, listen, you know, this whole thing is stemming from Call of Duty. This whole thing for Sony right now, their biggest concern is not so much of the whole deal with Activision. Their biggest concern, as far as I'm concerned, is Call of Duty. Right? Is Call of Duty. That's their main concern. Because it's one of their biggest revenue streams, right? When it comes to their third party games, right? That's on their platform. It was all about Call of Duty to begin with. That's why people were saying that they sounded scared. They sounded shook, like, oh man, like they were sweating a little bit, like, okay, what are we gonna do to have something to fill in that gap of Call of Duty? Like, it's gonna take years to really develop something that can generate millions of dollars, right? Like Call of Duty. So that's just kind of like where I'm at. It says the whole blocking situation is just Sony's way of trying to protect its way of business, as Microsoft too as well. There you go. That's all it is. That's really all it is. You know, that's really all it is. It says Sony not gonna have that third party cash cow. Well,
boy,
listen,
we're swimming in cash.
Listen, that's why they got Bungie, right? Isn't that why they bought Bungie? Right? They got 10 live service games that are going to be coming out, right? They got the Naughty Dog Factions 2 brand new experience that they're working on, right? They got Deviation Game. They got a bunch of stuff that they have coming out, right? But at the same time, Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. Now, the fact is going to remain if it's going to have the same weight like it did before, because Microsoft is going to have those exclusive things where, oh, play it right here. You're going to get beta access. You're going to get blah, 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 whatever. All the deals that PlayStation used to have, Microsoft will have that. So that would be the advantage right there. Just saying. Kratos 99 with the $10 says, "Sup, Marlon? Hope your day is going well. And leaks are coming out for Ragnarok. I hope Sony fixes this." Oh God. Not good. Thank you so much, Kratos, for the $10. Thank you for supporting the Let's Talk. It says, "I'm glad to see Xbox pushing back. The different thing is that Xbox do put games on not only their console. PlayStation do more only on PlayStation console." Exactly. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 with the $5 saying buying a company is not blocking. Says that's like saying marrying a woman is blocking. You're not blocking, you're marrying her, so she is your wife. Okay. Hold up. Listen, bro. My opinion on the whole thing, if you are buying, listen. Oh my God. That's crazy. 1, 2, 3. That's crazy that you're saying that.
Boy, we're swimming in cash.
Bro, you literally got to be kidding me. Right? Listen. It's literally the same thing. Here's why. Okay. Oh my God. Hear what I'm saying. Hear me out on what I am saying here. Microsoft knows. You think Microsoft not watching and looking what's going on in the industry? Where do you think Microsoft head is? They knew right there and then that Call of Duty was going to not. Oh my God. Oh my God. Listen, they bought Activision knowing that Call of Duty was a big revenue stream for Sony. Answer me that. Again, Microsoft, they already know this already. That Call of Duty is a big revenue stream for Sony. You see, it's business, right? It's business. So did they care that it was a big revenue stream? Did they care that it was a big revenue stream for Sony? No. They pulled the rug from under Sony. They did not care. And they bought Activision. Now they're going to own the IP. Now they have more control and say so of where Call of Duty goes. Right? They're going to have all the marketing rights, all the special things that Sony had with Call of Duty, marketing rights and stuff. Microsoft is going to have that. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Wow. They knew that. They knew that going into it. That this is a big revenue stream for PlayStation. What did they do? Spend $70 billion. So what do you call that? What do you call that? Seriously, like if Microsoft would have came out and said, you know what? Call of Duty is not going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be exclusive to Xbox. They're well within their right. What do you call that? It used to be on PlayStation. It sells more on PlayStation, right? PlayStation. Listen, man. What do you call that? What do you call that? Come on, guys. Come on, man. It's the same thing. Just like Sony goes around and be like, no, this game cannot be on Game Pass. We're paying so that this game cannot be on Game Pass. Same thing that Microsoft is doing. They're just doing it on a bigger scale. Open your eyes. That's what they're doing. They're doing it on a bigger scale. They're buying their way, guys. They're buying their way. They're literally buying their way. They bought Activision, whether or not Activision approached Microsoft about being bought or not. Regardless of how you look at it, it's the same thing.
Boy, we're swimming in
They went
cash.
on ahead and bought Activision regardless. You think they care about that Sony's biggest revenue stream? No, it's business at the end of the day. It's business at the end of the day. They spent $70 billion, but guess what? Call of Duty, you talking about marriage? That marriage is not going to hold up. That's going to be an open marriage because Call of Duty is still going to remain on PlayStation, right? Call of Duty, out of everything else from Activision, Call of Duty is one of the biggest games, right? Next to Candy Crush, next to, Diablo and everything else that they have, Overwatch, whatever else. Call of Duty is that game that brings in the money. Come on, man. For real, though. I'm just being straight up. Like, for real. It's the same exact thing. Whether or not Activision approached them or Microsoft went over to them, it doesn't matter how the deal went through. Do you think they were caring? They did not care. They didn't care about Sony. They're trying to win. They're trying to build a Netflix model. for the industry when it comes to video games. That's what they're doing. You think they care about Sony? You think they care about Nintendo? You think they care about anybody else? No, they want Game Pass to be, if Microsoft can help it, they want Game Pass to be on every single thing so they can dominate the industry that way. You think they care about Sony? No, they don't. They're trying to win. They're trying to win everybody, bro. That's what they're doing. They're trying to be the Walmart of gaming. That's what they're doing. They don't want you to go nowhere else. Our prices cannot be beat. Our value cannot be beat. The games that we're offering in our subscription service cannot be beat. The competition is not offering the value that we're offering or the low costs that we're offering to our subscription service. Come on, guys. That's what they're doing. Okay, it says buying a company is not blocking. Okay, yeah, we already read that. Okay, 12345 says, why does it matter if it was big revenue stream for Sony? You forget there are also getting Candy Crush and other things they can use for Microsoft. I understand that portion. But what you have to understand is that no company is going to care about your revenue because it's not their company. So they're not going to really care.
Boy, we're swimming
They're really
in cash.
not going to really care. That's why they said, hey, listen, what we're going to do, we can afford to buy Activision, right? Sony cannot buy Activision. We're going to buy Activision. Okay? We're going to control Call of Duty and decide where Call of Duty goes. Sony, on the other hand, is like, oh, well, this is a big revenue stream for us. This is one of our biggest revenue stream. So we're concerned about this. That's where Sony is coming from with this whole situation. I'm just saying, man. But you guys have to understand, these companies are going to do whatever they're going to do, period. Candy Crush, bro. Candy Crush. That game alone, it is insane. Literally, like I'm sitting here like Candy Crush out of all the games for Activision, that is the biggest one. It just goes to show you. It just goes to show you. It really just goes to show you. Man, listen, bro. Sony has nothing to worry about. All Sony has to do is continue doing what they do. Hopefully, they can expand in the multiplayer department, which they already getting that train started, and keep adding value in whichever way they want to in their PlayStation Plus premium service. Like, we can sit here and cry about Sony going day and date all we want, but chances are they're not gonna they're not gonna do it, because they feel like that's not going to be sustainable for them. Thank you so much, Nighthawk. I appreciate you. It says, I think Xbox did say to PlayStation, but your exclusive games day and date, and you'll be okay. Okay. Come on with your questions. After being bought by Microsoft, will Activision be an independent studio? Well, hey. Listen. They bought Activision on the notion of, hey, all these games are going to be in Game Pass, right? All these IPs and everything are going to be in Game Pass. That's the whole point of them buying Activision in the first place. Look at Sony. They bought Bungie, but they're still holding their independence to do whatever they want to do, right? But at the end of the day, Sony is still going to benefit from this. They're still going to benefit from it, right? It says, your titles of previous streams is Sony is in trouble now. They have nothing to worry about. Okay. let's talk about that. When I say PlayStation is in trouble, before the statement even came out about Call of Duty, right, being still available on their platform or whatever the case may be, right? The way how Sony was talking, yeah, they sounded scared, right? They're like, oh, we can't make something to rival Call of Duty, right? And we can't do anything to rival Game Pass, right? But at the same time, if you look at it this way, look at it from this perspective. Sony's biggest thing right now is in the multiplayer department, right? And also the whole communication with their fan base and stuff like that. That is a problem, right? They don't communicate as much. But Sony's been doing this for years, right? They have been doing this for years, right? But what I'm saying is, as far as this whole Game Pass situation, that's what I'm talking about. Game Pass as a whole, like Sony's going to be fine, right? Because they're going to do what they're going to do. They've been fine since 2017 when Game Pass came out. That's what I am talking about. As far as them being in trouble, if Game Pass, okay, if Call of Duty was not going to come to their platform, they'll be in trouble because they would have to find a way to make something to generate enough sales or revenue to fill that spot of Call of Duty, right? That's where I was coming from with that, right? And also with them not communicating as much, right? They just want to resort to just, oh no, we'll talk when we want to talk.
We're swimming in
or
cash.
we'll talk when Microsoft wants to talk, right? We'll talk when Microsoft wants to talk. Or we'll talk when we want to talk. Come on, guys. Come on. Listen. Come on, man. All studios buy their way. Of course. It says COD will be on PlayStation, but Sony can only look but not touch now. Sony can look but not touch. Oh, God. It says, why are so many media companies going the subscription model? It's not up to Sony. If the demand takes, Sony will have no choice. Well, that's why Sony is doing what they're doing, right? They merge PlayStation Now into one, right? That's what they're doing, right? They're offering stuff on PC, right? They're trying to do everything that they can. But at the same time, will it be good if they would have just said, hey, let's make our exclusives day and date? Yes, it would be good. But they're not going to do that. They feel like, well, the qualities of the games are not going to be there. So we're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is they don't have to go that route if they don't want to. They can still win a console generation if they don't follow the Game Pass day and date route. They can still win. Are you telling me that Sony is not going to be able to win a generation? Thank you so much, 123. Right? You're telling me that if Sony does not go the Microsoft route, they're not going to win? Is that what you're saying? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. All right, keep on coming with your questions. Keep on coming with your questions. Says, I don't understand how putting a game in a subscription lowers the quality. A game is a game no matter. Well, you got to understand money. Money goes behind that. Money goes behind that. And if a developer is not getting paid, or if the studio is not getting paid what they're supposed to get paid, then they're just probably not going to commit to that subscription model of having their games tied to a subscription model, right? Because guess what? These games take time to make, right? Jim Ryan said that these games take time to make. So Microsoft approach is like day one, you're getting these games tied to the subscription service no matter what. Sony games just take a longer time to come out. That's why you see a lot of people are like, man, these games be taking forever. But once they come out, man, the quality, it blows you away. It literally blows you away. So the way how Sony releases their games and how much time and investment it takes, it just won't be sustainable for them as far as a subscription model. That's what they're saying. Right? Before this whole Game Pass situation came out, you see how long these games take to make. 3, 4, 5 years. You know, sometimes 6 years, depending on how things work. I'm just saying, man, Sony does not have to follow the Game Pass route to win the generation. They don't have to. And for those who are going back on what I said about Sony being in trouble, like I said before this whole statement came out about what Microsoft is saying, the information that came out said, oh, we can't rival Call of Duty. What you mean you can't rival Call of Duty? You can find a way. Don't say that your studios are not capable of making something. Yes, it will take years for it to generate the scale and money that Call of Duty brings in. Right? So you're sweating, right? You're sweating and you're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? So clearly you're in trouble because you're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do now? We got to find a way to make something that can rival Call of Duty. We know we can't do that. So what are we going to do? At that point, you're in trouble, right? Because now you're about to lose one of your biggest revenue streams. But now it came after that video and everything. Oh, now all of a sudden, Call of Duty will remain. Call of Duty will continue to remain long after the deal. So Sony is going to be fine. They're going to be fine with this whole Game Pass fiasco. They're going to be fine. They don't have to compete. They don't have to compete with day and date. They don't have to. Would it be great? Yes, it would be great. Yes, it would be great. Because they're offering PlayStation fans, instead of spending $70, they can just sign up for PlayStation Plus Premium or sign up for PlayStation Plus Extra and get those high quality games. But Sony is not going to do that. They're going to do things how they're going to do things. And they're still going to be okay. That's what I'm saying. You're in trouble if you're, you know what I'm saying? If you're big, any company would be in trouble if their biggest revenue stream just get dragged from underneath them. Well, now you got it. Now you got to pivot. What are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? They just pulled the plug on Killzone, the online and everything like that. Everybody is waiting for the next big thing from Sony when it comes to multiplayer. They're working on that, guys. They're actually working on that right now. Sony ain't going nowhere because of Game Pass, and Microsoft ain't going nowhere at all because of Sony and their exclusives. They're going to continue to compete. They're going to continue to win you guys. That's what they're doing. That's what they're going to continue to do. He says, clip that Sony is going to be fine. Hopefully that doesn't age like sour milk. Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this. Who said that? Leader. Let me ask you this. So do you think that Sony is going to lose this generation because of Game Pass? We're talking about Game Pass. Do you think that Sony is going to lose this generation because of Game Pass? Or you think Sony has to go ahead and do day and date in order to win? Leader, I'm asking you that question. Do you think that Sony is going to lose this generation because of Game Pass? We're not talking about Call of Duty. We ain't talking about none of that stuff. We're talking about Game Pass and PlayStation. Do you think Sony is going to lose this entire generation because of Game Pass? That is my question to you guys. Do you think Sony is going to lose? That's why I'm saying Sony is going to be fine in that department. Y'all talking about I'm flip-flopping. No, I'm not. I said that Sony is in trouble because of the way how they were talking. They said that, oh, we can't rival Call of Duty. Okay, find a way. Clearly, you're in trouble if you're saying you can't rival Call of Duty. You have to find a way. Find a way. That's where that whole thing was based off of. Obviously, Sony communicating more with their fans, right? That's an area where they're weakened. They need more multiplayer stuff on PS5. They need multiplayer stuff, which we already know they're working on, right? So regardless if Call of Duty is coming to PlayStation or not, Sony would have to find a way to be okay, right? They're not going to just roll over and disappear because Call of Duty is just somehow tied to Game Pass, right? Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. All right, it says, we all know that Sony will be fine. Game Pass can't compete with the quality of Sony games, you said. Like, listen. Microsoft is getting it together, right? They're going to have supposedly some quality games dropping in the Game Pass next year and beyond, right? So Sony is not going to lose this generation because of Game Pass. Game Pass could be super insane for Microsoft as far as games and all this, but Sony is still going to stand tall because you can't replicate what Sony do with their stories and their environment and everything. Like, that's why Microsoft is trying to catch up in that department. They're trying to catch up in the quality department. Look it up if you think I'm lying. Matt Booty said that, hey, if that's one thing they can say about PlayStation is that they make high quality games. And we're going to try to do everything that we can to match that. Now, once Microsoft finds a way to really compete head to head with Microsoft when it comes to the quality department, wow. Then it really comes down to the type of games and the stories that are being told and what people like or they don't like at that point. I'm high. Okay. Mr. Pluto, please tell me. You're saying, what are you basing off of this on? I'm being high or I'm high right now. Okay. So you're saying, what are you saying, man? What are you saying? Are you saying that Sony is going to lose this generation because of Game Pass? Like Sony just have to put their games day and date or else they're going to lose the generation? That's what, Mr. Pluto, because I see you in the chat saying whatever you're saying. So please. Let me go ahead here and get to this donation. My man 1234 with the $5 says, if most gamers want a subscription service, let's say 60%, you really think Sony would not have to adapt and compete? Okay. If it gets to that point, then Sony is going to do what they have to do. And I think Jim Ryan said that. Like, if it gets to that point where they have to compete in that department, then yes, they're going to have to do something. If majority of the market, 60, 70, 80% is leaning towards that, then they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something, but it's not going to be all doom and gloom for Sony. It's not going to be all doom and gloom. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. It's not going to be all doom and gloom for Sony. It's not. It's not going to be all doom and gloom. If Sony stick to their words, right? And if Sony stick to their words and continue to make high quality AAA games or make quality games, however they want to do it. If they want to release it into PlayStation Plus Premium day and date, or they want to do PC day and date, would that help them? Yes, it would. But they're not doing that. They're literally not doing that. They said they don't want to do that. Right? Now, if it comes to the point where Sony has to cross that road, then they're going to cross that road. They're going to do what they have to do to win the hearts of gamers. But you guys make it seem like, oh my God, like, when it comes to Game Pass, like, wow. Like Sony just literally have to copy everything that Microsoft is doing verbatim in order to win this generation. No, they don't have to. They don't. Johnny, please tell me how I'm flip-flopping like a fish, sir. because you keep repeating yourself. Please tell me how I'm flip-flopping like a fish. Please tell me. Please tell me. My man, with the $2 says day and date PC before a day. It says date sub service. Listen, man. Listen. The crazy part is a lot of people would want Sony to release their games day and date on PC, day and date on their subscription service. And they're not going to do that, right? They're going to let you wait because they want you to buy their console. They want you to buy their console first. They want you to buy their console first. Period. It says Sony will always be around. They're legends gaming. It says they buy high quality studios and are using their over 20 years relationship to keep the lead. Exactly. They're number one, right? They're literally number one, right? Thank you so much, 123. Thank you for the donations, man. Appreciate the love. They're number one, right?
We're swimming in cash.
They're number one for a reason. They've been doing, I told you guys at the beginning part of this stream, they've been doing this for over 20 years. This whole battle is over exclusivity, right? And who is paying what and who is doing what and whatever the case may be. Listen, I'm happy for Microsoft. I'm subscribed to Game Pass. I'm going to be playing Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Stalker 2. I'm excited for these games coming to Game Pass. I am. Like I said before, man, this whole console war thing is nonsense. Buy both, enjoy both, play what you want to play, whatever the case may be. Sony is not going anywhere, bro. Sony has been doing this for over 20 something years. Like, they're not going anywhere. They've been doing this for 27 years. They're not going anywhere. Happy Cloud Gamer, thank you. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. I'm just trying to keep, I'm literally trying to keep it as real as possible. They're not going anywhere. If they have to adapt because majority of the market is shifting to whatever, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to have to adapt in some way, shape, or form in order to compete. But Sony, you make it seem like Sony is just going to disappear because, well, they're not bowing down to the Game Pass day and date mentality. They don't have to. Can they do it? Yes, they can. But Jim Ryan is saying that, hey, it does not work for our business model. Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like, I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect. But what I am doing here is I really want to be as honest and upfront with you guys. There are people on YouTube that wants to be perfect, aims to be perfect, right? And for some reason, right, they know everything. I don't know everything. And if I'm saying something wrong, please correct me. You know what I'm saying? Please correct me. Please correct me. I don't want to be right on everything. I don't. From my playing and experiencing games over the years, I don't know everything, right? But I know what I know, and I am standing firm on what I know, right? If I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Sony has been doing this for so long. They've been doing this for so long. So long. They're not going to just, for some reason, like, they're not going to just go out of business and it's completely over. Silver, please tell me how I'm wrong. Please tell me. What did I say that was wrong? Please tell me. No trolling. Please be honest about how am I wrong. Please tell me so I can correct myself on stream. Please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me. I want to know, man. I want to know. I want to own up to my mistakes. So if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm saying something wrong, please tell me. Microsoft should buy Sony. Not gonna happen. Never will happen. Okay? They have been doing this for years. Sony has been dropping exclusive games since 1995. Okay? They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Right? PS2 to this date is literally the best-selling home console of all time. Who has accomplished that? PlayStation. Right? Let's go back. Let's go back. You know what I mean? Like, why is that? Because of the quality of the games. The quality of the games, the exclusive games that they dropped on that system was amazing. It's the library of games, the largest library of games of all time. PS2. Come on, guys, man. Come on. Come on. Microsoft had to do something. They literally had to do something because they know they cannot compete with Sony pound for pound when it comes to hardware sales. So what did they do? Game Pass. They had to do something because clearly, in the hardware sales department, Sony have been winning, right? Sony won in the 360 PS3 generation. Okay. Right? Sony won in the Xbox One generation. Okay. Sony won in the Xbox and PS2 generation. Okay. Sony has won in every department, every single time with sales. Microsoft cannot compete in that area. That's why they don't report on the sales. That's why their main focus is engagement and Game Pass. Come on, guys. What did he say? What did Johnny say? I didn't even see what he said. What did he say? You didn't get all the facts that Microsoft does the same thing, so it makes you sound like you flip-flopping. I didn't get everything right. Wait. You didn't get all the facts that Microsoft does the same thing, so it makes you sound like you didn't get what facts that Microsoft is doing the same thing. Didn't get. Hold on. Didn't get the facts of Microsoft doing the same thing. Microsoft doing the same thing of what? Of what? Please. Of what? Of what? I'm waiting. Of what? What did I not get right? What did I not get right with the whole Microsoft situation about what I talked about at the early part of the stream? Please tell me. Please tell me. Because they do the same thing like Sony. They block games too from going to PlayStation. They do the same thing. So please tell me. What did not get right? Because they do the same thing. All these companies do the same thing. So Microsoft exposed Sony for paying block fees for to stop games from coming to Game Pass. He says doing the same thing of block content, aka making games exclusive. Microsoft does the same exact thing. They do the same exact thing. Are you kidding me? So you're saying that Microsoft does not, Johnny, hold up. You're saying that Microsoft does not pay block fees to stop games from coming to the PlayStation platform? Are you serious? Are you serious? Wait, hold up.
Boy,
are you serious?
Cash.
Wow. So you're saying Sony is the only one that's paying block fees, but Microsoft is not. Microsoft ain't paying block fees to stop games coming from PlayStation. Are you serious? It's business. Both of them do it. Every company does it. Every company, because Sony wants you to be on their platform and their platform only. Microsoft wants you to be on their platform and their platform only. It's business. They're competing. Microsoft got the bag. Microsoft got the bag, right? So they can stop anything they want, right? They can stop anything they want. What are you guys not understanding about that? Y'all sitting here defending $1 trillion company. You're sitting here defending $1 trillion company. And you're saying that, well, they're not doing the same. Bro, they're doing the same exact thing. They're spending money after money. They're buying their way. Oh, man, I can't with you guys. Young Real, what up? What up? Arb with the $5 says, can we just get to the point when a Microsoft user hacked PlayStation Network? These Xbox is hypocritical. It says, and crying for their rival, not put in day by day. Listen, man. Listen, how is OJ? How is it Cap? You said Microsoft could always write a bigger check than Sony, blocking BS narrative. Okay, you know what? Everybody, listen. Everybody is going to have their own opinion, but don't sit here and say that Microsoft does not pay money to have things on their platform versus another. Don't sit there and make it sound like that. Okay? It's not just Sony. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. It's not how you think we get these. Okay, how you think they go around and talk to these companies and publishers and developers like, hey, we want this on our platform. Microsoft might go to them, whoever offers up whatever the case may be. Okay, all right, we'll put it on Game Pass. All right, we'll put it on PlayStation, whatever the case may be. Come on, guys, man. Come on, man. He says, no, I'm saying you barely just came with this info today when it's been known that Microsoft does block fees. What? Okay. I'm barely coming with this info today because Microsoft does block fees. What do you mean the news just came out this week about Sony paying block fees, right? To stop games from coming to Game Pass. So what are you talking? I'm saying that this is what these companies do, right? This is what they do. He says Microsoft just isn't as aggressive as Sony to get those games. Man, what third-party game Microsoft blocking that's not on PlayStation platform? What third-party game? Third-party game. What third-party game? We're really going to go there? We're really going to go there? Well, what third-party game? What third-party game? We're really going to go there? I just told you guys. The Medium, prime example, the Medium, right? It was tied to what? Xbox. Then it went to PlayStation afterwards. Right? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? You guys just keep on forgetting. You guys just keep on forgetting. right? That's one game. Now, there's indie games, right, that are just tied to Xbox. There are indie games that are tied to PlayStation, right? Tunic, right? There's so many games that you can look at and say, oh, do you see Kena? Is Kena on Xbox? Right? Is Kena on Xbox? No. Is Sifu on Xbox? No. Listen, man. Is Halo on PlayStation? No. Is Gears on PlayStation? No. Exactly. Of course, Sergeant. Of course. Exactly. They're on PC. But my whole thing is this. Don't act like exclusivity does not matter. Because it does. Right? It does. That's what this whole thing is about. Only on PlayStation. Halo is only on Xbox. God of War is only on PlayStation. Like, that's just the way it is. When it comes to third-party stuff, look at Deathloop, right? Sony went to Bethesda before the deal. Literally, Microsoft had the chance to go to Bethesda. What's up, my man? What's up, Sylvester N? Microsoft had the opportunity before they bought Bethesda to go ink a deal for Deathloop, right? And Ghostwire Tokyo, right? They did not do that. They just bought the whole thing, right? They had the opportunity to do that, but Sony went on ahead and made that happen. I'm just saying, they went to Bethesda before this whole thing happened, before being bought. Before being bought, they went to Bethesda and be like, look, you know what? I'll tell you what we need. We need Deathloop. We need Ghostwire Tokyo. Right? That's what we need. Marlon has missed the mark here with his comparison. What did I miss? Please tell me, what did I miss? What did I miss? Please tell me. What did I miss? Please tell me, so I can correct myself. Please tell me. First and third party, you can't compare. First party is funded by them. Of course. But what I'm saying is, they have to go, in order for the first party stuff, like, they have to go out there and spend money, right? And buy studios in order to make that a thing, right? Also, with third party stuff, they got to go out there and spend money, right? To get that deal, whether it's time exclusive. This whole thing is on exclusivity. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's time exclusive, whether it's exclusive to the box, right? It's to get you to just be tied to that console. Deathloop was nowhere else but on PlayStation, right? You couldn't play it anywhere else. But is it coming to Xbox? Yes, because it's a time exclusive deal they have. Ghostwire Tokyo, same thing. This whole thing, whether you look at it from a first party standpoint or a third party standpoint, it is still exclusivity, right? So they got to spend money. They got to make these deals happen. They got to make these deals happen one way or the other. All of these companies are spending money, third party, first party, second party, whatever the case may be, to earn your hard-earned money, to win you over to their platform. So regardless if Sony is paying block fees, allegedly, right? Because Sony didn't, allegedly, right? Oh, Sony is paying block fees to stop games coming from Game Pass. Okay. Microsoft does the same thing. They do the same thing. Why are we not understanding that? They make deals happen, right? Because they don't want to see XYZ game going to another platform. Right? So they're going to do everything in their power to spend that money in order for that not to happen. It's the same thing. Man, we just need to game, bro. That's what we need to do, bro. We just need to keep it gaming, bro. Just keep it gaming. Okay. So you're saying, okay. What is Microsoft's biggest strength right now? What is Microsoft? Okay, OJ. What is Microsoft's biggest strength right now? I'll tell you what their biggest strength is. Game Pass. Right? And them and Microsoft being $1 trillion company. I'm just saying. That's their biggest strength right now. Game Pass and them being $1 trillion company. Come on, guys. Come on, man. We're going to act like this right now. We're really going to act like this. They're a $1 trillion company. So their buying power is out of this world over Sony. Their biggest strength is Game Pass and them being $1 trillion company. That's what they got going for them. They're trying to catch up to Sony when it comes to quality AAA experiences. That's why they said that they have to give Sony their flowers when it comes to that department, because Sony has been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years. So regardless if Sony is really in their feelings about Game Pass or whatever the case may be, well, do something about it. If you're so worried about Game Pass being a threat, do day and date then. Do day and date with all your games, but they're not going to do that. So they're going to stick to their tried and true way of winning, and it's putting out quality experiences for you guys that are not tied to a subscription service. Like the game will come, later on, 6 months, maybe a year from now. But that's just what it is. Come on, guys. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's crazy, bro. Listen to me, man. Both companies are going to be fine. Okay? Both companies are going to be fine. Period. End of story. Period. End of story, right? I need you guys to understand this. They're going to be fine. Both companies are going to be fine. All they're doing is doing what they have always been doing for years, is competing to win us over, right? Competing so that we can be tied to their platform. That's what they're doing. You even have Phil Spencer out here saying, oh, wait a minute. One of my most anticipated game that I want to play this year is a PlayStation exclusive. And it's God of War. Come on, guys. Come on. Shooters, multiplayers, racing, and Game Pass. Oh, God. Like I said.
Boy, we're swimming in cash.
Oh, man. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. We just have to be real, guys. We have to be real. Microsoft is going to do what they're going to do. Microsoft, for years, they've been saying that they're trying to pull away from the whole shooter box mentality, right? because they need different genres of games. That's why they're buying up all these studios and buying up all these publishers. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Right? Come on, man. Come on, guys. Look at Falconer. Look at Falconer. Right? Another prime example, Falconer. Right? Falconer. Wasn't that on Xbox at first? Now it's coming to PlayStation. Right? Now it's on PlayStation. Was Falconer a great game? Not so much. Not so much. Come on, guys. Come on, man. But you're saying that these companies don't go to these developers and go wherever they want to go to make deals happen. It's business at the end of the day. They're trying to get you to be on their platform. They're trying to get you to be on their platform at the end of the day. While both sit at the table together and eat lobsters and steak, the common folk in the store arguing over which side put out the best. Hey, there you go, man. You said it best, Gaiman. You said it best, man. Like I said before, guys. Like I said before, both companies do it. Microsoft has done it with Falconer, The Medium, Tunic, all these games, bro. They go to these developers and they're like, listen, we want this to be in Game Pass, right? Sony, on the other hand, we want this to be, on our system. We want this to be time exclusive. We want whatever the deal is. That's what they do. Right? Come on, guys. Come on, man. Listen. Let's not forget. Oh, Falconer's trash. Okay. But what was Falconer on at first? Xbox. Right? Xbox. It was launched on Xbox first, right? And then later it went to PlayStation. Right? Is Falconer a great game? No. Did I enjoy The Medium? No. I didn't like The Medium. It wasn't my cup of tea. Like, you literally got to look at the games, guys. Look at the games that Microsoft had released first on their console, right? Look at it from a quality perspective. Y'all said Falconer is trash. A lot of you guys didn't like The Medium, right? But look at the quality of the games that they have tied to their box, right? Which is a time exclusive thing. Versus look at what Sony have tied to their system, right? And match up those games. And tell me. A lot of you guys enjoyed Kena. A lot of you guys enjoyed Sifu. Man, listen. What's up, Ray? What's up? It says, you are right, because even if I want games as Sly Cooper and Jack, also want Banjo-Kazooie, Xbox Mascot Racer, and Mascot Brawler, and where's Killer Instinct? Who knows where that is? So Sony is trying to block Xbox Game Pass for real. Hey, that's what, according to this document from Brazil pertaining to the whole Activision Blizzard King deal. Yep. Allegedly, that's what Microsoft is calling out Sony for. It is, Daryl. It is. It says, again, Marlon, comparing exclusives and time exclusives that we all know about, sneaking back, and payouts we know about the block the third-party games are going on to the service. Says, so now today you are praising Sony when you were claiming doom and gloom. Listen, I am not praising anybody. All I'm saying is both companies are doing the same thing. Since the beginning, They buy studios to get games exclusive to their platform. They do time exclusive deals in order to make it exclusive to their platform for a certain amount of time, right? When it comes to time exclusives, right? Because they want to win you over, because they want you to play on their platform. So it's not a praise here. It's just saying that Sony is going to be Sony. Godfall is on Xbox. Okay. A lot of people didn't like Godfall when it came out.
Boy, we're swimming in cash.
Okay. Right? That's what I said. Not everything Sony does is perfect, right? I'm just saying. So you're saying the things that you're saying and everything like that, but at the same time, come on, guys, come on. Like, regardless of the fact, yes, Godfall is on Xbox. A lot of people didn't like Godfall when it was on PlayStation. A lot of people didn't like Godfall. But at the same time, nobody is taking any sides here. All I'm saying is Sony is going to be fine doing what they do, right? But whatever they said that, you know what? We're not going to worry about what Microsoft does as far as Game Pass goes, right? We're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna merge PlayStation Now into into one service, right? And we're gonna release our games in a timely manner when it comes to our first party stuff to our subscription service. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, right? So they're the one calling the shots. It doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what you guys say. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know what else to say. It says once you sign the contract, it's a done deal. You have to abide by it. Microsoft calling this out is hypocritical. That's what I'm saying. It's hypocritical because they do the same thing. If it's true, you're calling Sony out on paying block fees. You do the same thing. You get games like Falconer, right? Obviously, you paid for that to be on your console day one. The Medium, same thing. You do the same exact thing. Sony went on ahead to Gearbox. Oh, we want Godfall to be a part of the launch stuff for PS5. Okay, was Godfall a great game? It was okay. It wasn't a phenomenal game. It was okay. It was an okay game. It wasn't terrible in my opinion, but it was an okay game. I did enjoy it, But for some people, they did not like Godfall. It wasn't a great game for them. Now that it's on Xbox, right? People get to play it on Xbox. Let's see here. Microsoft would have said anything if Sony didn't play victim in court to start. Well, listen, their whole thing is Call of Duty. That's their biggest thing. Their biggest thing is Call of Duty. That's why you see Sony is saying the things that they're saying because of Call of Duty. Call of Duty is one of their biggest revenue streams, right? That's one of their biggest third-party revenue is Call of Duty. So, of course, they're going to be panicking like, oh, man, we about to lose Call of Duty. So what are we going to do? We can't rival Call of Duty. None of our studios can rival Call of Duty. I'm like, well, Sony, you're in trouble because you need to figure out a way to make something that's sustainable enough for your fan base or revenue-wise for yourself, right? That's why they got Bungie. That's why they got all this stuff that they got going on in the background as far as multiplayer stuff. That's what I am saying. Any more questions? Any more concerns? Does anybody have anything else? Any more questions? Any more concerns? It says no one is doubting, Sony's complaining. Exactly. If you want to look at it this way, they both told on themselves. Microsoft could have kept it quiet. Of course. Like I said before, which side am I on? Listen, there's no right or there's no wrong on which side you're going to be on. Which side are you going to be on is which side you're going to be on. I'm in the middle here. Listen to me. I'm just being neutral. I'm not picking the sides because they both do the same thing. They both do the same. I got both consoles, my G. I got both. Thank God. I have both consoles. So there's no need for me to pick a side. The only thing is I can just tackle the information on what one company is saying versus what the other company is saying. Like they both are in business to win you guys to their console, to their piece of plastic, to their ecosystem. Okay? These companies are in business to win you over, right? In some type of way to get your money. So there's no need for you to be picking sides. For years, I told you guys I love PlayStation games more than Xbox because that's how it's always been for years. That's about to change because Microsoft have all these games that they have coming out. As far as the quality goes, the best thing that I've seen quality-wise, well, Hellblade 2. Forza looks really good, right? And obviously, we still got to wait for the other stuff to come out. But I've always loved PlayStation games more because the stories that are being told and the production that goes into these games and everything, right? So let's just be honest, man. Let's just be honest and upfront. Like, I'm not picking any sides. I'm just saying, like, Sony's been doing this longer than Microsoft, right? So they know what they're doing, right? They were obviously coming out and saying, listen, our back is against the wall right now. We're about to lose Call of Duty to this deal. And then Microsoft came out afterwards with a statement like, listen, Call of Duty will remain. Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation. So there you go, Sony. You should be happy. Sony is going to lose marketing rights to Call of Duty because it's gonna be Microsoft's IP at that point, right? It's going to be tied to Microsoft. So Microsoft is going to decide where they want to bring things. And they're going to have the marketing rights. So Sony just have to adapt and figure out a way to keep going. They just going to have to. None of this information should have even came out in the first place. This should have been behind closed doors, right? None of this should have been put out there. But at the end of the day, like I said before, Microsoft just needs to continue doing what they do best. Sony needs to continue to do what they do best. Microsoft ain't going nowhere. Sony ain't going nowhere. Okay? They're two of the biggest rivals in gaming history. Okay? Microsoft and Sony. Nintendo is in a league of their own. Okay? So, hey, man, listen. In order to continue to be on top, you got to do whatever it takes to continue to be on top. Period. End of story. You got to do whatever it takes to continue to be on top. Sony knows that they got to do whatever they got to do to make it happen. To continue to make it happen. All right, well, listen. It's already out there now. It make them look weak. It make them look like they can't be creative or whatever the case may be. Right. But you need to find a way. You need to find a way to adapt and to continue to thrive and continue to be number one. Right? I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. It says at Marlon, says Sony needs more multiplats, bro. They are really struggling in that department, and that's a part of the reason why some consumers still haven't got a PS5 yet. That's of course. Like the as far as like multiplayer games, they're weak in that department. They're very weak in that department, and that's what they're working on for PlayStation 5. Right? They're working on that for PlayStation 5. I'm just saying. It says it was good. This information was leaked. Shady business practices shouldn't be hidden. That is true. That is true. My man says, did COD started with Microsoft? So basically COD coming home. Well, I guess you could say COD was on PC, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there you have it. As far as I can remember. Yes, sir. He says, look at this way, man. Microsoft got tired of the blocking and the BS. They flexed the wallet and said, okay, we will just buy it and then you can't block it anymore ever again. Well, there you have it. But at the end of the day, does that, because Microsoft is going around buying or whatever they want to do, is that enough to get Sony out of the competition? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is that enough to get Sony out of the competition? Right? Is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough? You got to ask yourself that, guys. Is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough? Them saying, okay, Sony, you want to pay block fees? You want to pay block fees? Okay, we're going to just buy. We're just going to keep buying. So you don't have to pay no block fees to stop anything, because we own this publisher. You know what I mean? We own this studio. So yeah, you there's nothing else you can do. They're buying their way. But is that enough? You got to ask yourself, in my closing, right? Is that enough? Is that enough? You got to ask yourself that. Is that enough? For Sony to go bye-bye because Microsoft is buying up everything, right? Yes. Will Sony be hurting if, for instance, a game like Call of Duty, which is a high revenue stream for them, right? Stream of income for them, right? Okay, yes, they're actually hurting, because now it's going to be tied to Xbox, but at the same time, Microsoft is saying, no, it's still going to be on your platform. It's still going to be on your platform. So you're going to be fine. But is it all doom and gloom for Sony? Does Sony need to pack up their lunch kit because Microsoft is buying up everything? It comes down to the quality of the games. You can buy whatever you want to buy. But it really comes down to the quality. If the quality, you could have a gazillion games, and if the quality is not there, if people are not being engaged with the content that you're putting out, shouts to Damian Butler with the $20.
We're swimming in cash.
Then it's not going to really matter in the grand scheme of things. You can have all these games. You can go around buying this, buying that. But if the quality is not there, are you guys going to care? No, you're going to be like, oh, this is garbage. Oh, this is trash. Oh, man, this ain't even worth it. You're going to go to the other platform where you're going to be getting a high quality experiences, right? I'm just saying, guys, come on, guys. You guys are smart, man. You guys are very smart. And I love you guys for that. Damian Butler with the $20, with the silent 20 says, we woke up this morning. Let's get it. Ooh, blessings. Hey, blessings. Let's get it, MGN family. Thank you so much. It says nobody wants Sony out of the game, but they can't complain now when they have done this themselves for a very long time. They can innovate. We know they are capable. Of course. Sony can do whatever they want to do. Sony can do whatever they want to do. They can just say, hey, you know what? Forget about what we said. We're going to go ahead and we're going to compete day and date with Microsoft. And then what it really boils down to is then may the best games win at that point. May the best games win that are tied to these subscription services. May the best game win, right? That's what it really boils down to at that point. And pricing and games at that point, right? Because you're going to look at, oh man, Sony is offering God of War Ragnarok. Sony is offering Last of Us 2. Not Last of Us 2, Last of Us 3. Sony is offering Spider-Man 2. You're going to look at the games. You're going to compare the games and be like, man, Sony is offering just a better experience to me. So I'm going to sign up for Sony subscription service versus you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Even Jim Ryan said it. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But for right now, he's saying that does not work for their subscription model. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe Sony's going to have to eat their own words and say, you know what? We said no. We said no to day and date, but doggone it, we got to now. We'll see. We'll see if Sony change their words and kind of go back, and change the wheel. We'll see. But as of right now, they're doing what they're doing. I'm just saying. They're doing what they're doing. Sony don't, it says, Sony don't, they are first party, just so people can sub and unsub once they beat that. Hey, same thing with Microsoft, right? Same thing with Microsoft. But I appreciate you guys, man. One love and God bless. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this episode of Let's Talk with you guys. This is episode 2. We talked about Xbox today, and we pretty much touched upon this whole block fee situation. And I hope that we all had a discussion on this and it could kind of clear up some things. And like I said, both companies are going to do what they're going to do, right? Because the battle is about exclusive games and what's tied to one platform versus the other and who is doing what and who is doing what, right? But at the end of the day, both companies are going to succeed in the areas where they feel like they need to succeed in. Sony, their biggest thing, their biggest bread and butter is exclusive games, right? They're going to continue to do that. They have already said that they're going to continue to do exclusive single player games. They're going to expand on the multiplayer side of things. They're going to expand in the live service side of things. Like they're going to be putting their games on PC. Sony is doing what they're doing, right? Sony ain't going nowhere. If Microsoft just so happened to skyrocket with Game Pass and majority of the market is going to be shifting towards Game Pass, then Sony is going to have to do something. You're just going to have to adapt. It's either you adapt or you get out the spot, period. Right? So both companies are going to do what they're going to do. Right? And like I said before, Microsoft pays block fees too. Sony paying block fees. They both doing it because they want you guys to come over to said platform, whether it's PS5 or Series X or whatever the case may be. So that's just the way it is. No, I'm not mad. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm 100% fine. Please have yourself a doggone good one. Love you guys. Shouts to my boy Etika, man. Rip to my boy Etika. Love you guys, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Adios, amigo.